but basically 20 signs a woman's feminine. Hair. Her hair is like shoulder length or longer. So basically, long hair is a sign of femininity. Makeup. She wears makeup and it's not overpowering. She wears a dress and she has curve boosters or things that show off her natural curviness. She has a clean apartment. She does not have a car. She has a feminine body. She's not fat and she's not skinny. You can barely hear her. She speaks softly. She is submissive. They obey your rules. She has female friends and she has feminine friends. So they're just like her. She was raised by a mother and father. That's also really important. I'll get back to that one. She's a little bit shy. She's a little girly. She avoids TV and the internet. Yeah, good luck finding that now. She has good manners. Yeah, right. She has good manners. She spends a lot of time in the bathroom because basically she's working on hygiene. Family and friends are most important to her. I'll get back to that one. She loves shopping because obviously she's just trying to make herself look good for you. 18, she's usually Latina, Eastern, or Asian, or African. She does not know about feminism. Now, I don't know if not knowing about it's important, but the thing about it, because everybody pretty much knows about a concept. But anyway,
Right.
and she's not stubborn. So so now that I've gone through that list, and you can find that list online, it's like 20 signs that she's feminine, right? Now that I've gone through that list, that's like a baseline for what you're basically talking about. So I've
Okay.
dated Asian. I like Asian women. I've dated Hispanic women. I've dated white girls. I've dated some black girls. My ex-girlfriend was black, but I've pretty much decided that when I get married, it's probably going to be to an Asian. Now, as far as Asian go, Filipina is nice. I've dated Chinese because I lived in China. I've been in South Korea for a while. So my thing is, again, they don't fight you. They don't argue with you over stupid things. They're constantly trying to please you. They're constantly making themselves look good for you. They, in fact, I took this Chinese girl. We went to a mall because when I first got to China, we went out to a mall, and she hooked up with me. Like she saw me, like I was new on campus, and we started talking. And like when I saw her, I was like, yeah, she's such a pretty girl. And we started going out. And fortunately, when we go to other countries, our money's worth so much more. You can actually go on nice dates, and you don't really care how much you spend because you're like, oh yeah, well if I was home, I'd spend 2 or 3 times as just on myself, you know. So you can take out on nice dates, and you go out. So you go to the mall, and you're looking at the clothes. She's looking at the clothes, and she's like, "Oh, do you like those clothes?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I like that pair of shoes, right?" So sure enough, the next time I saw her, she had a pair of shoes on that looked just like that. So that's basically showing you that she's going out of her way to please you, you know?
Okay.
And that to me is the sign, that's the main sign of femininity. But we're not getting that here in America anymore. Basically, the women want to fight with you, they want to argue with you. They cannot help it. They have to have their ego is deep into it. They cannot help it. And a lot of the dudes in the chat I noticed are saying, yeah, we like Filipinas because, Filipinas are one of the easier Asian women to meet because of the language barrier is not there. They speak English. When you go to China, South Korea, and those women are very feminine. They do all of these things, but recently they're having issues with feminism too because of the economy. When more and more of these women start working and they become career women, what ends up happening is they push aside being a mother, being a daughter. They push aside those things because they're trying to make that money. And if they're trying to compete with you to make the money, what ends up happening is they lose their femininity and they basically become more and more masculine.
Right.
So as far as what countries you can go to, it doesn't really matter what country you go to. It just matters how you're meeting these women. If you're meeting women who don't have both of their parents and they don't have a mother teaching them how to be a woman and how to dress like a woman and act like a woman, then you're not meeting a good feminine woman. If you go to a country where it's agrarian and the women are mostly like farmers and they're not very expensive and they're not poor, well, they're not. It's not that they're poor, but they don't have a lot of money. They're not busy chasing money, so they have more time to focus on being feminine. And it all depends on what you like. If you like Spanish women, we got plenty of Spanish countries. If you like Asian women, we got plenty of those. If you like white women, they got like Moldova and they got Belarus. They have countries where the women can't find men because the men are far outnumbered by the women. So where whatever you like, they got a country for it. You just got to be. I'm still waiting for my passport to get back in the mail because I renewed it, and I renewed it like I think the beginning of October, and I'm still waiting. No, the beginning of September. I'm still waiting for it to get back. But I'm planning on going to Maldives probably. I want to see Maldives and maybe Doha. I'm gonna do like a nice business class trip. Last time I flew, I invited my girlfriend with me. We flew on what was it? Emirates, and we went to Thailand, Bangkok. And since then, I haven't really been able to fly, obviously because of COVID. But I'm just waiting. I want to get the hell out of here. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's great, man. We're looking to go to Thailand and in the Philippines actually. But right now,
been to Thailand before?
No, I've never been. I'm looking forward to pick up though.
Have you been to Philippines before?
No, but I had a Filipino girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say this: if you go to the Philippines, how long you plan to stay?
At least what?
A month? Let's say a month. Throw a month.
Yeah, I'll say it like this: you probably meet a girlfriend within like a week, within probably like maybe 3 or 4 days, because especially
Philippines?
I'll say it like this: the malls. If you go to the Philippines, the best place to look for the girls are the malls. And you're older than college students, so college is a nice place too. But the women are everywhere. They're everywhere. The only thing you got to be on the lookout for is because some of them, if they have boyfriends, they will dump their boyfriends to get with you. They will absolutely just dump them, and that's the only thing to look out for. Now, if you go to Thailand, plenty of women there too. Most guys they meet women in the bars. But my thing is, if you're looking for anything long term, it's like you really ought to want to, stay in a condo and live there for a while. But the money situation is really good. You can have a beautiful condo, $15 a day, and you can live real well. You can, date. You can take your chick out. I had a great time there. I loved it. Thailand too.
Don't you have property there?
I'm sorry?
Don't you have property there? Do you have a real estate?
Yeah, what it was when I first went there, I was checking out the lay of the land. And then what I did was I invested in a condo. Because, see, we can't, as an American, I cannot buy land. Okay. You can only get that through a wife. And it works the same way in any of the other, like China and South Korea. You can't, as an American, you can't buy anything real estate. You can't buy the land. Now, if you want to invest in a property and you want to buy a built structure, that's fine, but you can never own the land underneath it. Now, if you marry a Filipina, it goes to her. It's her name. If you marry a South Korean, if you marry a Chinese, they own it, not you. But you can still invest in it. You can still buy a property and rent it out, but you just can't own the land. So in my opinion, investing is okay for me. I just won't buy anything there because I can't own it. If I can't own it, I'm not buying anything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you mentioned.
And you say even if you're married? You say even if you're married, that's the case?
Yeah, see, unlike America, other countries have protection. They practice protectionism. If you're here in New York, for instance, I deal in real estate and personal finance, right? Chinese people, Asian people, they can come here and they can just spend cash money and they could buy our houses right from underneath us. That's why our market is so screwed up. We've got like 15,000 apartments with nobody in them because of foreign investment, Russian and Chinese money, right? Mm-hmm. But if you go to one of their countries, you can't buy their land. The only way to buy their land is to marry into a family, and their women can own the land and pass it down to another citizen of their ethnicity. You cannot own it. Now, when it comes to that real estate, you can build a house, but you can't own the land. You can build a condo. You can't own the land. If you marry a Filipina, she gets it in her name. And there's been a lot of these white dudes who've invested in property, and then the chick up and leaves them and gives it to her family and shit, and he's ass out and he can't get it back. So I don't invest if I can't own something, I don't want it. I just don't even want it.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, the reason why it's so restrictive is because it's so cheap. If they weren't restrictive, I mean, it would be bought up already by foreign investment. So
exactly,
that's definitely why they do it.
Exactly.
Okay, so
you're right.
they're protecting their land then. Oh, you'll do a super chat? You want to
get? Yeah, GMAC, $4.99. Appreciate you, my man. Good to see you. GMAC, you still in Brazil, by the way?
Oh no, I think he back in Texas.
Oh, he back in Texas. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, he's saying that he was really missing that.
I love it.
And he said, "What's up, brother?" Big inside joke.
That's an inside joke.
That's from another live. When I guess was making a joke. My girl's definitely in Salvador, but here, Big Truck Series. So he's saying that. He's shouting you out, Big Truck Series.
I heard you, Mac.
Appreciate you, G-Mac.
Now, where are you guys right now? Like,
I'm in Florianopolis, Brazil, right now.
Okay, you're in Brazil. What about?
Yeah, so I'm in Jersey, and I was supposed to go to Rio.
Okay.
And then actually I was supposed to be here next week, but we're gonna do a pivot, and we got some other things cooking. We're gonna go somewhere else. So.
Oh, okay. And when are you planning to go to? Are you planning next summer to go to possibly Philippines and Thailand at the same? See, what I usually do is I split it half and half. Sometimes, like the last time I went to the Philippines, I stayed 30 days straight. Because as you know, with the visas, most of the visas only allow you to stay for like 30 days at most, right? I think the time right before that, I went to South Korea for 15 days, and then I went to the Philippines for another 15 days. And then the last time I went to like Thailand for I think like 20 days and like Dubai for like 10. So are you planning to do the whole month, or are you planning to like chop it up?
Yeah, I would love to do the whole month. Can we do Thailand and Philippines, or is that the same?
In one, I mean, it's like this. If you want to, Thailand during COVID, they needed tourism so badly that they had introduced the idea of a 90-day visa. So if you have the whole summer to yourself, like if you got August and you got July, you could go to one country in July and you can go to the other country in August.
Okay.
Like, see, I get the entire summer off. Like, I get July, I get August, and I get part of September. So, because some of my work is remote, because it's basically like computers and banking and stuff. So, ultimately, I can do it from anywhere in the world. But if you want to chop it up just to experience both countries, because here's the thing, you may go to Philippines and you may say, "Oh, this isn't for me." You might like it, but my thing is, you should always test the water first. Mm-hmm. So if you want to, get there for like maybe 15 days and you see both places, because me personally, the women are healthier and thicker in Thailand, but the Filipinas are easier to deal with because they speak your language. I like Thai women. I hate their language. I don't like it at all. I don't like the way it sounds. But with Filipinas, you're just going straight English on everything. Everybody speaks English. That makes it so much more appealing. Now, if you want to learn one of their languages, then that's different. That's you. Like I went to South Korea, I felt completely isolated. Like I never experienced any racism, but I was so isolated. It was like I couldn't talk to anybody, and nobody could talk to me. And nobody like there were some people seeing me. They're like, "Oh shit, there's a giant black guy walking around." And there was some people who talked to you, but very few people would talk to you, and they would try to pretend you're not there. It's like sitting on the train next to Godzilla. It's like they try to pretend, okay, if I just stare ahead, I'm invisible. He won't. It's like, don't you see that 2 meter tall nigga right there? Come on, he's right there. Yeah. And I know.
I actually got a question for you.
I'll just say this: with you up there, the women would want to play in your hair. Because you got those long dread braids. The women want to feel your hair and shit. Next thing you know, you dating them.